Giving God all the glory and all the praise on this 28th day of October for all of his blessings that he has given unto us. It is a good thing for us to gather and give praises unto his name. I want to certainly again honor on this day Reverend Albertus Horn, and this is again Minister's Appreciation Month, and again the breakfast yesterday for those around in England and Tucker, all the ministers, pastors, and I want to again say publicly to him, I appreciate you again so much, Reverend Horn. Amen. 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 We appreciate you and certainly your wife. We thank God again for each of you. Amen. Certainly we had a good breakfast, and thank God for certainly Mother Lois Barnes, Miss T. Amen. Cooking that breakfast. She always don't mind cooking and having folks looking for something the next Saturday or Sunday. Amen. Always looking. We hosted all the Christ Corner pastors, and she had cooked something so good they wanted us to host the next one. And we thank God, and certainly my mother volunteered to help on yesterday, and we just thank God again certainly for her. I do believe it is ours to lead the way in bringing people together.
Yes, yes, amen. Yes.
I said I believe it's ours.
Yes, 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 it is.
Because if we can't as Christians come together, I don't know who can.
Amen.
It makes no difference what the name may be on the church if you're serving the true and living God.
Yes, yes, yes.
Then we're all on the same side.
Yes, yes. Amen.
So that our hearts go out to those that were killed in the synagogue in Pittsburgh on yesterday.
Yes.
The families that are grieving again this morning. And I tell you, it's a grim reality. It's a sad verdict.
Yes.
That when we gather in our places of worship on Saturday or Sunday,
Yes.
we do not always know what is going to happen while we are here trying to praise the Lord.
Amen. Amen.
I tell you, we come into this place to escape
Yes.
the burdens and the problems and the issues, but there are those that are living in our society today who do not regard places of worship anymore. And I tell you that we are gathered here today, and there have been places in San Antonio, there have been places all over this nation that people who have gathered for a place, a time of worship.
Yes.
And yet, at the hands of those who would perpetrate and plot evil in our society. Sometimes you may ask yourself, is it even worth sometimes going through and trying to gather and worship the Lord if the outcome is going to be negative? If you live under the constant fear. But I am reminded this morning, and I hope to leave it with you, that regardless to what happens in our world today, God is still in control. And if he's in control, he has you and I in his hands. And I tell you, I would rather be in the hands of the Lord than in any hands of wealth, than in hands of power, than in hands of position or prestige, because all of these things will fade away. But to be in God's hands, Though this life may be taken,
Yes.
we are what? Know that those that lose their life for the sake of Christ will gain it, knowing that all is well even then.
Oh, yeah.
But in Isaiah 41 and 10, and I'll soon be done.
All right.
It's about 12:20. If you give me until, I'll be done.
All right.
Isaiah 41 and 10. It says, fear you not. Isaiah 41 and 10 says, fear you not. Fear you not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Yes, I will help you. Yes, I will uphold you with the right hand of my righteousness. This morning we're going to talk again the thing that God is in control.
All right.
God tells us all, my brothers and sisters, to fear not. God says there's no reason, no need for us to fear.
All right.
That even though we're living in a society that is constantly breeding fear in our world today. Well, that's the whole idea of terrorists, to breed fear in our society. Those that send out all of these bombs, all of these homemade bombs, so all of these individuals, the man had a hit list of folk that he wanted to send bombs to. But I tell you, in spite of all of this, that God is still in control. In spite of those that would do us harm in our places of worship, in our synagogue, in our churches, that God is still in control. For he says, Isaiah 41 and 10, God says, fear ye not. There are those that will say, you know what, I'm just going to stay at home. I'm not going to go out to a place of worship. I'm not going to serve God because of the fear that exists in our society. But how many of you know you cannot let others again dictate to you simply because of fear? You cannot be afraid to praise and worship God because he is God and he is worthy of all of our praise. Even if it's been said that if somebody will come to you and say on Saturday, I'm going to be there at church, and all of those that go in want to serve the Lord, and I'm going to get you. I wonder how many will still exercise their faith and come on out to the house of worship.
All right.
You see, but we have to realize that God is in control of all things. And we're living in a society now that people want to play up on the fear. We have more bullying going on in our society than ever before, trying to persuade folk again in the way that they would have to go in. But how many know that God is in control? Don't worry about these things. Because we can get sidetracked, we can get turned around by all of these things that are going on in our world today. You cannot be afraid. Let me say this, you cannot be afraid to go out there and cast your ballot.
All right. All right.
I said God is still in control. You cannot be afraid, even though there are those that, again, require all of these things. I said, whatever they may do, you still go out there and exercise, again, your right to vote. You do everything, because do everything that you can do, but God is still in control.
All right.
And brothers and sisters, we're living in a time now where this world, I mean, it is sad that you can be riding in your car and somebody figure that they can have your car and make you get out of it and they drive off in it, a carjacking. But I tell you that God is still in control. When we look at it, God controls all of these things that are in our world today. And sometimes I think we forget that God is the one, regardless of who sits in the White House, regardless of who the governor is, regardless of who's in the mayor's office, God is the one that is still in control. And God has special plans for you in your life. God has special plans for all of us. And I'll tell you, God is able to see his plans through until the day of completion.
Yes.
If you believe that God has got you in your hand, one of my coworkers saying, I want to go and get a fortune teller and find out about my future. And I just want to say, I want to just go and see what they say. I said, well, you know, I can't tell you what not to do, but I said, God is in control of your future. That God is the one in control of our future. And so why should we worry and go? Because many times you want to go and hear what some fortune teller or something may say, and then all of a sudden begin to act accordingly based upon what they've said. But how do you know? All you got to do, like Sister Ward said in our Sunday school lesson this morning, is acknowledge God in all of our ways, and God will direct our path because he is the one that's still in control. I heard what the president said the other day. But did you not hear what God said?
All right.
God said, I shall supply all of your needs according to my riches and glory. You do what you want to do, Mr. President, but my God is going to do because God is still in control. We can't go around living in our constant fear about this or about that or what they were going to do or what they might do. Just trust in God. Have you relied on God lately? Did not God show up the last time you called on him in your time of need? Was not God there to help you and bring you out when you didn't think that you could be able to make it? Did not God do it? Who did it? Well, if God did it the last time, why we got to fear about right now? Because God is still in control. God is the sovereign God, and he allows things to happen upon the earth.
My Lord.
But I tell you, he never once relinquished his authority as being God. I don't care how rough it might get. I don't care how tough it might get. I don't care how dark it might get. I don't care if you don't see no way. How many of you know you don't have to see the way?
All right.
All God asks you to do is just trust him that he will make a way, and God will make a way out of no way.
Won't he do it?
I said God is still the one in control. You know how we have our remote controls at home, and you know that's a favorite device of ours. You can sit back. You know they used to have those televisions where you used to have to get up. I used to hate that. Because every time Grandma wanted to change, or Mama wanted to change the channel, somebody had to get up and go, yes sir, you remember that, and go and switch from 2, 4, 7, 11. The channel that you had, and so you had to go and switch, you had to get up. And if you didn't like that TV program, guess what? You had to get up again. And most times you had to get up, you see, but now, we got with a remote, you can sit back and you can control that. You can turn the volume up, turn it down, switch. And some of y'all smart now, y'all got them smart TVs. And now you can switch to Voodoo. I was waiting for y'all to tell me, see, you're telling on yourself, Hulu. You got all of them things now where you can hook up and watch all them TVs, Netflix and all that. You bring all of the channels, but yet it's all remote. And so it is that God sits high, but he controls our lives. God can say to us, God changes our channel. Sometimes we have to be programmed. God has to change our channel sometimes. God has to say to us, God has to mute us sometimes because sometimes we're too busy talking when we ought to be listening. God is the one that's in control. Sometimes God has to lay us down where we can hear from Him. He has to, sometimes we're so busy doing other things that we can't program. You know how that sometimes you have your favorite TV program, them soaps, and you really get into them. I'm trying not to, so far, not to get hooked on them that I have to record them and watch them even when I'm not watching them. But you know how it is that sometimes we get so engaged in the TVs and those other things that God has to say to us, I'm in control of your life. And when was the last time you spent some time with me? You see, God is in control. You see, we'll make sure that we watch Empire. Insecure. Have and have not. See, I told you I'll tell it all.
I'm waiting for it. Loving you is wrong.
Loving you is wrong.
I know myself.
Loving you is wrong. All of these things. And even when we're not there to watch it live, we tape it.
Show you right.
So we don't miss an episode.
It's all right. It's all right.
How many times have we spent with God?
I got something else.
And to say again to Him, say, Lord, I know You're in control of my life, and I need some understanding about where You are leading me and where You want me to be. You see, you won't get it from those shows that you've called and I've called. Because it's just whatever you want, you can have. Have the have-nots. Empire. Insecure. Loving you is wrong. But God is still in control of our world today. Just like He's in control of our lives. Have you ever wondered why that when you were in high school, or maybe even as an adult, you may have planned something else for your life? How many that if you are where you are and you had planned to be where you are, if you had planned to be where you are today, it was your original plan? Raise your hand. Exactly.
You sure all right?
But God has a way of orchestrating our lives because He is the one that's in control. He puts us where we want to be, where we need to be, where He wants us to be. And you may not think that you're doing some good. You may not think that you are contributing to society. You may not think that you have all the things that you need. But how do you know God didn't say that you have to have all of these things in order to serve me? God says the only thing you need is a willing heart. You see, we get caught up in, I'm not this, I'm not that. But you know, God is the one that controls your life. You are just where God wants you to be, and it's just for a season. Even that trial that we're experiencing, we're just where God wants us to be. At that moment in time, you know, sometimes when I'm traveling down the highway and I run into a detour, oh man, and I'm among Christians in here. You know, I was rushing. I'm always rushing and speeding.
We know. We know.
And so, I might as well, you know, yesterday, police stopped me. Don't go around.
Yeah.
I was going 60 and a 45. Wait, did you hear him play? Ooh, all that mooing going on. Well, but you know, I just thank God for His mercy.
Amen.
I showed Him my license. You know, by that time I got nervous. And I was nervous and everything. He said, proof of insurance. It was on my phone. And I had to log in. He said, well, you may want to just download it and save it, because I couldn't all get in my instrument. You know, I knew I didn't have no warrants, but I didn't want another ticket either. But he said, the speed limit is 45. Slow it down. And I said, okay. But what am I saying? Sometimes we get too busy. We're running too fast.
You're right.
We're in a hurry.
Yes.
And God has to slow us down. Have you been traveling on the road sometimes and you've been going and rushing and trying to get somewhere, and then all of a sudden you slow down? You start to see things that you hadn't seen before.
All right.
And then the first thing you said, when did they put that house up over there? That house been there all the time. You just ain't never slowed down to see it.
All right, all right.
What am I saying? God is the one in control.
I know.
And sometimes he has to slow us down on our path so that we may see the things that are important, see the things that are precious, see him in our lives for who he is and what he is. Because he's the one that orchestrates our lives.
Yes.
He's the one
Yes.
that puts us where we need to be. And don't ever be ashamed or afraid of where God has put you. Don't ever talk down where you are, because God is the one. Lift your head up. You remember that there was a time in our lives when we didn't have nothing, our folks didn't have nothing. But guess what? We were still proud of what we had because God had given it to us. God is in control.
I know.
Drive that car. Even though everywhere you get, the car's still running when you done turn off the ignition. Been there. But God is the one. But God will bless us again when time comes, because what? He is the one in control, and we can be thankful unto him for what he has already done for us. Because if we can thank him for that car that won't shut down when you ask it to, then God can bless you later, and we're thankful and faithful unto him, because everything is in his hands. Everything is in his control. Don't ever think that God has given up his authority or his control up on the earth. I don't care what happens on November the 6th. God is still in control. I don't put much in calendars in there. They can do what they want to do. I know what my God is going to do. And that is, he's going to take care of us. Do you believe that? That it does not matter, because he is still in control, because he can cause the very same folk to say what they wasn't going to do. God can change their heart and make them do things that they said that they wasn't going to do. I tell you, God is able. If you want to do something about something, yes, go and vote, but pray about it first. And let God lead you. Sister Ward said you have to make decisions every day, but let God lead you in the chores and in the right decision. Go out to vote, yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Take friends out to vote with you. Don't just go by yourself. Take somebody with you. Let your voices be heard and known.
All right.
But don't worry if it don't come out the way that you expected or that you had hoped for, because God is the one that's still in control. And let me show you this, and I'll be done. Some of you have lived through many times. And sometimes I like to sit under the feet of some of our older ones in their 90s and 80s and 100s, if they're being, and just listen to them. And folks can talk about some time that they've gone through. Time that they've experienced again when the Great Depression or the floods that have come. Or times when you didn't have much, you just had a little or something. Time when you had children and a family to feed. And you didn't have much, but God made a way. I tell you, God is the one in control. And And it always fascinates me how that God can take a load. Oh, it always amazes me how God can take a little something and it can stretch and last a long time. Some of you, even today, may not understand, or if you try to put a pencil to it, you cannot figure out how you're able to make it from month to month, except that God is the one that allows you to make it through. Many of us can't understand how that even you still got that job that they didn't want you to have. That house that they did not want you to have. Places that they did not want you to go. But I tell you, when God says that you are blessed, and can't nobody do nothing about it because God is the one still in control. And I said I was going to say something that was the last thing, but let me just say this right here. 30 seconds. This ain't the first Republican president we've had. That's right. That's right. It ain't going to be the last. But God has still been the same. The old folk used to say, He sits high, He sits high, and looks low. He guides my footsteps, oh, wherever. And I understand that I have a Father who can. I have a Father who can. He sits high and looks low. He guides my footsteps. Oh, and I don't understand. I have a Father who can. Oh, yes, He can. Oh, He sits high and looks low. He guides my footsteps, oh, wherever. Oh, please understand. Yeah, I have a Father who can. Do you believe you got a Father who can? He can do anything. Oh, He sits high and looks low. He guides my footsteps, oh, wherever. Please understand. Oh, I have a Father who can. And looks low, the door of the church stands open. He guides my footsteps.